You're leaving a sports show to go to a morning show? It sounds really familiar, but I can't quite put my finger on it. Fresh off his last day on GMFB, the never imitated, never duplicated because it would be too damn hard, Nathaniel Burleson joins us on Tim and Friends. What's going on, fam? How are you?
What's up, bro? It's like you're living in the Matrix. There's a glitch in the Matrix. You're seeing the same rerun, man. We love you, bro.
Yeah, it's just people are bouncing quickly. I say fam because it feels like fam, which is why we have to start with you before football, bros before Browns. From day one, we knew we had a star in our hands with Nate Dogg. How tough was it to say goodbye to that family on that show on the NFL Network?
First, let me address your statement. We are family. You know how much I love you. We go way back. I've always
kissed
appreciated
my fat head once or
of course,
twice.
Yeah. That makes us closer than blood, straight up and down.
Yeah.
But it was tough. It was tough. But you know, I've established a relationship with the folks at Good Morning Football, and I thought to myself, if I'm going to leave, I'm going to leave for an opportunity that, you know, doesn't come around often. And CBS This Morning is one of those shows. It is a hallmark franchise, rich history news show. And I just couldn't walk away and say no. So it was tough to accept, but it's a blessing. You know, I'm just a kid from Seattle that happened to move to New York, hoping that my morning show would take off. And then 5 years later, I'm now sitting next to Gayle King every day, bringing you not just the national news, but the global news.
Very cool. So listen, I have to, I'm not losing two of my brothers to a morning show. Are you still going to be able to keep Canada in your life with this show?
Listen, there was a few stipulations and a few things that I had to cut ties on.
Right.
I let them know that I have a show, I have a family across the border that I'm tied into. So I'm not going anywhere, baby. And listen, I got to wait till the border is open and clear and ready to rock and roll, because I got one shiny, bald, milk dud of a head I have to kiss before 2022. All right?
Yeah, a milk dud. That's white chocolate, my friend. That's white chocolate. Just tell me you didn't get the idea from Sid, or I will never hear the end of it.
No, I did not. I did not. Here's the truth, though. I had opportunities to leave Good Morning Football over the last few years, and I chose not to because the timing wasn't right. It just seemed like the time was perfect, and I'm thankful for Good Morning Football, the NFL Network, and also being able to still work with the NFL Media Group, the NFL Network, CBS, and I have some pretty cool stuff with Nickelodeon coming up this year. So your boy's going to be busy as usual.
All right. Well, let's do this before we move on to football.
Yeah.
All right, football. Let's get to football. Your eyes, what's the most important story of the preseason? Like every year we go into it, and I go to ESPN, I go to NFL.com, I go to SPORTSNET.ca, and we're littered with all these stories that smack you in the mouth. But all of them take different angles. In Nate Burleson's eyes, what is the most important story going into 2021?
You know, for me, it's the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields is by far, I would say, the more electric quarterback because his arm is strong. He's a little bit more youthful, of course, than Andy Dalton. But he brings this energy to the squad that they haven't seen in Chicago in a long time. But with Matt Nagy basically sticking to his guns and saying, you know what, I'm going to go with Andy Dalton right now. Justin Fields isn't going to get any reps with the first team. I think that really has a lot of people stuck between a rock and a hard place, wanting to support Nagy and his steadfastness, but also hoping that they could see Justin Fields with the ones. We haven't got a true look of what he looks like with the number one line, the number one tight ends, Allen Robinson, and, of course, the running backs. So I think that's one of the most important storylines, because if Justin Fields is as good as we think he could be, not only is it good for the Chicago Bears, it shakes up the NFC North. So that's one of the most important storylines for me.
All right, Jesse, our digital producer over there, is going to be rolling his eyes at me. Some of the audience might be rolling their eyes at me because I said this a couple of times, but best quarterback of all time, Tom Brady, carried a clipboard to start. Joe Montana carried a clipboard to start. Patrick Mahomes carried a clipboard to start. Aaron Rodgers carried a Lamar Jackson. I know there are players that jump in and are good immediately, but I'm not against incredible talents standing there and learning a wee bit to start. Can we give Nagy that credit, or should I just text him and tell him, here's your excuse?
No, listen, I agree with you, and I do feel like there are certain situations where we could look at a quarterback and say he benefited from watching the game from the sideline. You know, having a bird's eye view and being able to learn from a quarterback in front of you, that does go a long way. You mentioned Lamar Jackson, but Lamar Jackson was thrown into the flames at the end of the season, and you saw what it did to the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah.
I am not opposed to a QB sitting, but Baker Mayfield was pretty darn good in his first year. Justin Herbert was pretty good last year. I would love to see Justin Fields. I would love to see Trey Lance in San Francisco. So for guys that just got the juice, it's good. And here's the thing. I'll say this to them. Mm-hmm. It's different now. This isn't, 10, 15 years ago where these quarterbacks are coming in and they still have a lot more to learn. A lot of these young quarterbacks that are drafted in the first round, they are pure QBs that have been playing pro systems since they were in middle school. Right. So they're ready to rock and roll. The question is, how much of the playbook do they know? Does Mac Jones know the complete playbook? We know how complicated it is to play in New England. We know how many layers it is to that playbook. Okay, so if he knows the playbook, he might have a chance to start over Cam Newton, especially with him missing 5 days because of the COVID protocol. Does Justin Fields and Trey Lance know the playbook? If they do, I say throw them out into the flames. Now, if they don't, which we don't know, I could be excited about these young rookie quarterbacks running a very basic vanilla offense in preseason, and the coaches are saying under their breath, they don't even know 3/4 of this playbook. Right. So we can't start these guys week one. But I do want to see these guys on the field sooner than later, because it's better you rip the Band-Aid off and see if they can handle the heat.
And I will listen to that argument that they are further along, because there are some dudes that have Nate Burleson as their wide receiver coach in high school, and then they have to drive to D.C. for some preseason games. Wait a second, that's happening right now as we speak, Nate Burleson in the van.
I'm doing my soccer dad thing, you know what I'm saying? But let me ask you though. I like to flip this. It's a little bit
I know you do.
Different. Okay, so Tom Brady and the Buccaneers, they didn't lose not one player. They actually added more talent. They didn't lose a coach. Do you still believe that Tom Brady, coming off that Super Bowl at the age he is, that they are the favorites going into this season? I'm not talking about the NFC. I am talking about in the NFL.
I think the Chiefs are better because the Chiefs have revamped their offensive line. I thought the Chiefs were better last year, and the Bucs proved me wrong by just chasing Patrick Mahomes all over the park in the Super Bowl. I think the Chiefs with an offensive line are a better team. However, Tom Brady and the Bucs, I thought, would take a lot longer to find their gear with all of those new pieces, and bringing them all back scares the bleep out of me, and it should the rest of the NFL. Like, I think they're 1A and 1B, but I've also seen teams fall off after a Super Bowl appearance, especially losers of the Super Bowl. So I'm a little bit scared of what I just said, despite the fact that I will stand by it chest out.
I'm not mad at that. What I do know is Patrick Mahomes is going to look better behind that revamped offensive line. Yeah. Okay, we know that Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce are two of the best pass catchers in the business. What scares me about the Buccaneers is not how good the offense can be. It's what that defense did to Patrick Mahomes. I get it. He's not going to be running around like a chicken with his head cut off. That 600 yards of running sideline to sideline during the Super Bowl, that right there will be an outlier of a failure in Patrick Mahomes' career. But that Buccaneers defense is different. They are dogs. First level, second level, they might have the best linebacker group, and they drafted a linebacker too. And the back end of that defense is fantastic. I do believe that defensively, that might be their strength. Forget about what Tom Terrific can do with Chris Godwin and Mike Evans and the host of skill players. It's that defense that scares me. Yeah. So as good as the Chiefs are going to be, as good as Aaron Rodgers might be this year, and he's ready to set the world on fire because he spent the summer finding himself, I just feel like the Buccaneers defense is the one thing that you have to get around if you want to be a champion.
I could tell Nate knew because I covered my ass after saying the Chiefs and went back to the Bucs just to make sure that we couldn't roll back the tape at the end of the year. All right, we got less than a minute here, and I know you got to get going. You got to get on the road. You got two boys and a football game. One last one for you, because I know we're talking about the top, but every year there's a team that pops out of nowhere or seemingly nowhere to make noise. Who's the team not enough people are talking about right now that you think might be able to put a dent in what we just showed, and those are the top teams in the league?
I'll give you a sleeper squad, and on that squad, I'll give you my dark horse MVP. Ooh. The New Orleans Saints. I know we're writing them off. Drew Brees is gone, and he is a legend. First ballot Hall of Famer, but don't sleep on the fact that Jameis Winston is coming to prove that he can be a starting quarterback in this league. He's on a one-year deal, which means he's motivated by money. He got his hand fixed, I believe it was. My dude got LASIK surgery.
LASIK, yeah.
My wife got LASIK surgery a while ago. I remember her waking up and saying, "Oh, when I turned around and found the alarm clock, it was like something I've never seen before." So for every person that has had LASIK, they tell me that is sent from heaven how great their eyesight is. And look at this ball right here. You're not telling me that ball right there wasn't the best ball thrown in the preseason? Kyle Brandt had a great stat on the show. He said that ball, 53 yards in the air, it traveled. That was the most air yards by a ball thrown by a quarterback for the Saints in 5 years. 5 years. What does that mean? If Jameis Winston can be accurate this season, this offense will be so much more explosive than it has been over the last couple of years. Mm-hmm. And I am saying this with Michael Thomas being out. I get it. But they have skill players that are going to be able to hold it down, and Alvin Kamara will ball out. And yes, I did say in the very beginning of this, Jameis Winston is my dark horse MVP.
Ooh, last one before I let you go. You, of course, a wonderful wide receiver. I played slot and wide out at Senator O'Connor High School in Toronto. The kids are wideouts and tight ends. Am I the worst receiver among the group that we are talking about right now? Me, you, your two kids, sophomore and junior.
Yeah, clearly. Yeah, no doubt about it.
I kind of knew it, I asked.
But you got a good nickname, Slotty Pippen. Like that, I gave that to you right now, all right? You Slotty Pippen, baby. They can't take that away from you.
Listen, appreciate you always. Congratulations on all your success. We are always cheering for you. And whenever you can bless us, we appreciate it.
Of course, I'll see you all year, man.